What's going on, guys? Breakdown&Prediction here. So today I have a new video for you, and this is going to be taking a closer look at the 2020 Michigan Senate race. So let's get into the video. So some information going into this before we start is the Senate seat is currently held by Democrat Gary Peters. We'll get to that in a minute. Michigan statewide offices are all Democrat controlled. Both of the senators, governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general are all Dems. Michigan has 14 seats in the House of Representatives, 16 electoral votes, and the 14 House seats are 7-7 even split among Republicans and Democrats. And Michigan is a key battleground state which voted for President Trump in 2016. That was the first time it voted Republican since the 1988 presidential election. So now let's get into it. The Democrat candidate, Senator Gary Peters, the incumbent Democrat for now. He is the only Democrat running. Abul El-Sayed could be a potential candidate, but we haven't heard much out of him yet, so for now it's just Gary Peters. Gary Peters is a businessman, politician. He's the incumbent junior senator from Michigan. Junior meaning he's running for his second term, I believe, or third term or something like that. And Debbie Stabenow has been in the Senate longer than he has, so he's the junior senator. He served as a congressman from 2013 through 2014 in the 14th District. He also served in the U.S. Navy Reserve. So now on to the Republican candidates. We have John James and Bob Carr. So John James, he's a businessman, combat veteran, and politician. He was the 2018 Republican nominee for Senate. I don't know why it says 2016. He was the 2018 Republican nominee for Senate against Debbie Stabenow last time. He served for 8 years in the United States Army. And Bob Carr, he's a lawyer and politician. He was a congressman for 18 years. He's on the board of directors for United States Association of Former Members of Congress. So in this Republican primary, I think John James would win by a pretty big margin. He's kind of the odds-on favorite to become the nominee and could potentially beat Gary Peters, excuse me. So expect John James to be the nominee here. So the Michigan Senate election is probably going to be Gary Peters versus John James. That's how I think it's going to end up being in the general. And so the polling consensus or polling average so far, I had to go to places like Wikipedia to find most of the polls because Real Clear Politics doesn't really have that much. But Gary Peters averages around 45.2% in polling, so John James 39.8%. So it's essentially 45-40. And that's where the race starts off right now. So here are some past races we could look at, for example. Here in the Nth Predicts Magic Wall, no copyright, we have the Michigan 2016 presidential race between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. This is the race President Trump flipped Michigan, the first time a voter Republican since 1988. So as you can see, President Trump really ran it out in all these rural red counties, especially up here and down here. Detroit is going to be a Democratic stronghold, as it always is, but turnout for Hillary Clinton was a lot lower than for Barack Obama, and President Trump was able to bring turnout up more in these rural suburban areas that Mitt Romney couldn't do as well last time, so Trump was able to win there. And then Gary Peters' last race in 2014 against Terry Lynn Land was kind of a Democratic blowout for him. He was a strong candidate at the time, and Terry Lynn wasn't really that strong of a candidate, but you can see the difference between Trump's race and Gary Peters' race. Look at all the blue out here. Look at all the blue out here, and look at all the blue up here. There's just more blue everywhere, and that's what Gary Peters needs to do. He needs to find a way to replicate this map, because this is how he's going to win. He's going to bring out the votes in Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor, Detroit, and Flint, but then he needs to get some of the surrounding suburbs as well, because they're going to vote in increased numbers for Trump, so he's going to need to split the ticket on a lot of these cases. So, please, let's get me to 100 subscribers. Last time I checked, we're at 47 right now, or 48, something like that. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe and smash that like button on this video as well. Come on, my goal is 100 subscribers, so let's get me to it. Alright, so election night, November 3rd, 2020, 9 p.m. Michigan's poll close. And I think within a half an hour to an hour of the closing, I project Gary Peters will win re-election. I think John James very well could win this race, but at this moment, at this very time, it's looking like Gary Peters is going to hold on by about 2 to 3 points. Again, a lot of things can change, a lot of stuff can happen, but right now, it looks like Gary Peters is going to win and have another 6 years in the Senate. So, thank you so much for watching. That's my Michigan Senate video. I'll probably do an updated one as we get closer to Election Day, because I like making these Senate videos. They're kind of interesting. It's kind of how my channel started. So, yeah, that's how it's going right now. Remember, 100 subscriber goal. That's the goal. So please subscribe. Please be a part of that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.